Welcome to the Balking Dead. No song today, but we're still gonna get to the fucking monies. My StreamYard wanted to be a cuck, but thank God our guy next to me has his own StreamYard, so you can't hold us down. Welcome to the best MLB prop show on God's green earth. It's Friday, so you know what that means. We bring the only person I talk K props with and take advice from. Y'all know him as Spin. I know him as Chris. Either way, there ain't anyone else I'd have on my show. Spin Doc, I know you're hot, so let's just talk it.
Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's go. I'm glad we were able to get this rolling. And just so everybody watching does know, this is the Balking Dead. We're just using my StreamYard because of some technical difficulties. So this is my guy Sharpie show. So I'll turn it back to you. Let's roll.
All right, guys, enough small talk. Do me a favor, smash the like button. If you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button as well. First pitcher we're going to talk about is probably the best freaking lefty in the league. Tarek Scubble versus the Cubs. Morning line, 8+ at plus 108 on FanDuel. It's still the same. Pitching out 19.5 minus 130 to the under. It's now 18.5 at even money to the over. Earned runs were 1.5 minus 150 to the under, and now it's minus 140 to the under. Projected lineup is 7 righties, 2 lefties. Let's talk Scoob.
All right. Well, I have learned that this year, and once the hard way, and once where I was patting myself on the back, is that actually twice the hard way, and once where I was patting myself on the back. You do not fade this man. You do not fade this man at home. So under isn't an option. We're tossing it out the window right now. You can't do it. Don't even think you're smarter. You're not. Don't even think you can beat Scubble at home. You can't, period. Now, can we get to an over, or do we want to do something else? Let's take a look. Scubble, as we have talked about many times on here, lives in the zone, 57.2%. He is one of the best pitchers in baseball at throwing strikes, keeping his pitch count low, and going deep into ball games. Now, so much so that for the first time this year, which is probably what happens when you pitch a complete game and have 20 outs recorded the 2 of your last 3 before that, his outs are up at the highest they've been this year at 19.5, which indicates 6.5, maybe 7 innings. So you know he's going to get the chances. This is what happens when you're in the zone this much. This is what happens when you throw strikes this much. Now, you look at the Cubs lineup, and while you only see 3 guys that are under league average when it comes to zone contact, there's more potential for strikeouts. There's actually more potential for strikeouts across the Cubs lineup than you might think. I told VIP this the other night when it comes to Mackenzie Gore, is that on the surface, you look at it and you look at the Cubs' overall K percentage against lefties, which is 19.6%. And you might think, oh, I'm just going to pass on this one and just leave it alone. But this is why you have to break it down hitter by hitter, because Scubble is allowing an absolutely absurd, ridiculous 70.7% contact rate in the strike zone. MLB hitter average is 82.7%. 12% under is absurd. Like, we start looking at overs when guys are at like 78 or 79, even some in the low 80s. But you get to 70%, ridiculous. I've actually never seen a pitcher who throws this many pitches, a regular starter, under 70%. And Scubble is very close to it. Now, we break down the lineup. There are a few spots that are in the Cubs lineup that are dead. One dead and one I call dead-ish. The dead spot's Nico Horner. Man is just elite against lefties. He is striking out against lefties this year at 2.2%. That's a real number in more than a few plate appearances. He has his own contact rate of 95%. We can talk. He's 0 for 6, no strikeouts and 6 plate appearances against Scubble. We can toss him out. That'd be a dead spot. The dead-ish spot is Justin Turner, who's predicted to bat in the 2-hole. He has only struck out once out of 8 times against Scubble, has decent zone contact. However, is that Scubble is striking out lefties at a 37.5% clip. At home, it's over 40. So I have to put Tucker for 0.25 to a half. Now, you go down the rest of the lineup. And the ones that you want and the ones we're going to need if we're going to take a shot on an over here, otherwise it's just going to be a pass, are Dansby Swanson and Pete Crow Armstrong. Both of them swing well above league average in the zone. And those are two of the three that don't make contact. Both of them have strikeout percentages against lefties of 32.7 or higher. And both of them have whiff percentages of nearly 30% to a four-seam fastball, which is one of Scubble's primary out pitches, which is what happens when you can run that shit up over 100. So the other thing that why I think that Dansby Swanson, more than Pete Crow Armstrong, who's the usual choice, can actually be a multi-K candidate is because he also has 35% whiff percentage or worse to the three pitches that Scubble throws, and Scubble has gotten him 2 out of 3 times. I never try to count or bank on a guy going down 2 times, but if they're going to bat Swanson in the 5 hole, I stopped just short of saying Swanson's going down 2 times because his contact metrics against everything Scubble's throws is just absurd. Crow Armstrong has never faced him before. He hacks at everything. He has high swing metrics. When he gets a hold of one, it goes a long way. But he's also a young kid facing Scubble on his home turf. That's a strikeout possibly too. The other one I'm looking at, the other two I'm looking at for strikeout candidates are Shaw, who's projected to bat in the 9 hole. His zone contact is only is the third one that's under league average, and he also has a pretty gaudy whiff percentage to a slider. He also, when he gets down in counts, because he takes pitches in the zone, he's got an under zone average swing percentage. Counts, his strikeout percentage runs up over 35%. You don't want that against Tarek Scubble, so you got to get him for 1. I also have Suzuki for 1 because of while his zone contact is 84.3, you got to adjust that on a sliding scale at home against Scubble. He also has had some problems with whiffing to a changeup, which if you have not seen Tarek Scubble's changeup this year, which he's actually throwing more than his four-seam fastball, it's just absolutely fucking disgusting, absolutely gross. So where all of this lands is if you get Swanson 1 to 1.5, Crow Armstrong 1, Shaw 1, Suzuki 1, Carson Kelly, who's just at league average against in zone contact, that doesn't cut it against Scubble, that's 1. Happ is barely league average in zone contact, that doesn't cut it, that's 1. You start to see where a path to 8 becomes very, very realistic. Now, if the Cubs, for some odd reason, don't bat Tucker or they don't bat Horner, this becomes an instant over because there's nobody on their bench that they can even think about putting in that would get me off of it. As it stands right now, I think it's lined pretty correctly. But here's my question. Do you really want to stand in front of this man? Do you really want to stand in front of this train? Or do you want to at least try a half unit on a plus money for a guy that is just absolutely on fire and striking out the world? I know where I sit.
Probably the same where I sit, but let me read what I got. Scubble gets the Cubs, who over their last 200 plate appearances versus lefties are walking league average, striking out just 22% of the time with a bottom 10 isolated power. And we just cashed Gore's earned runs under as well as his K prop, as we know they ain't hitting lefties and good ones. They ain't hitting them either, as Abbott and Lodolo are both solid number 2 or 3s at best and had back-to-backs with them. And in that time span, Lodolo gave up 3 runs in one game, 0 in the next, and then was 2-0 to his K prop over. Abbott gave up 1 run total in 13 innings while going 1-1 to his K prop. Gore pitched 7 innings of shutout ball and cashed his K prop. Granted, Tucker wasn't in that lineup. Then a series versus the Rockies and Marlins, who don't have a lefty, I'd bet. So when they've seen a dog, they've been bit. And when they've seen middle of the rotation guys, they still get kicked to the fucking curb. He just told you this is the best fucking lefty in the game. And at the end of the day, I've got 5 of 9 who are around league average or worse when it comes to zone contact. And that's enough for me to at least go look at the pitch mix, guys. And when I run with what he got, with what he throws, I laughed because we don't talk beforehand. I have Tucker for 0.252. I laughed. I was like, yeah, bro, he could actually get Tucker this time. Not saying he does. But if he gets Tucker today, bro, 8 is fucking there in his sleep. And at the end of the day, they're not hitting lefties, so I'm going right back to the fucking well. I already have $50 on the Cubs team total, under 2.5 at even money. And I'll throw another 50 live if he gives up a run or two early They ain't been scoring on the good ones. They ain't scored on Gore the dog, and now they get the best lefty in the game. Nah. Not today, and I trust their back end of the bullpen enough to where I got to stomach it. I mean, I don't like betting team totals at 2.5. Every time I laid off last year, it cashed. This year, it's been the same thing, guys. 2.5s were made for this man right here. I bet it would juice 2.5 under team total versus Cleveland a couple of weeks ago. So why am I going to run now? Once lineup comes out, I'll either single game parlay them, pull them down to like 6, and then the team total down to 3.5 too. And I'll probably look to bet the 7.5 as I've got them for 7.75 right now. And yeah, like I said, if he somehow gets Tucker in the first and that's the only one he gets, I am dropping the fucking hammer on him live. I'll tell you that.
Yep. And this is why it's so important to not to A, wait for a lineup, and B is not to just look at team metrics, because you look at team metrics and you see this 19.6% K percentage for Scubble against or for the Cubs against lefties. And you also have to remember is that the last time the Cubs saw Scubble, they didn't see this version of Scubble. This version of Scubble is using his changeup more. He's got more movement and more spin on it. And his fastball is consistently hitting 99 to 100, even deep into games. I mean, hell, the last pitch he threw against Cleveland on that Sunday where he just murked them. I think it was 102 or 101 or something like that. So this man this is a different version of Tarek Scubble, an enhanced version, if that was even possible, from previous seasons. And like my guy said, there is way more strikeout potential in this Cubs lineup than you might think. The problem that becomes looking at team metrics is that it's very top and bottom heavy, because you have Nico Horner and Justin Tucker who are bringing it way, way down. And then you have Crow Armstrong and Swanson who are up there. And so the weighted average becomes what you see. The problem then is that they all have to face him, and they all have to face him multiple times. And if they're going to bat their normal lineup, he will see PCA and Swanson 3 times each. He might even see Shaw 3 times. I'm not sure, but he'll definitely see PCA and Swanson 3 times each. That's 6 plate appearances for those guys. That can be 3 strikeouts or even 4.
A 3 to 6, no bullshit. Like it could be every freaking one for them.
It could.
You can't count it. I get it like that, but I mean it's 3 to 6, and I got it for 3 because that's the least I can do. Yep. But hey, I've done 1-2 this year where I wrote the guy down for fucking 2. It was Navarez versus Scubble. He fucking gave up 2 real quick, bro. I've never put a 2 down, and I looked at it and I was like, oh my god, I got to fucking put a 2. Yep. Like, this guy's dead. Yep. But yeah, there's a couple guys like you said. Swanson and Crow Armstrong, they're walking dead men today. All right, next guy on the board, guys, is Nick Lodolo versus the Diamondbacks. Morning line 4.5 minus 110 on MGM. It is still the same. Pitching outs are not available. Earn runs 2.5 minus 150 to the over. Projected lineup is 7 righties and 2 lefties. The pitching outs not being available is a tad worrisome, which tells you there may be weather involved today. But let's get it. Lodolo gets the Diamondbacks, who over their last 200 plate appearances versus lefty are not walking, as they're almost 3% worse than league average, striking out just 16.5% of the time with a top 5 isolated power. Now, before I get into who have they seen, we need to talk about what this man next to me has been preaching about these Diamondbacks all year long. And they're just a different team, home and road. As it's almost 50-50 guys on their at-bats versus lefties during this time span, home and road. And in those 200 plate appearances, they're striking out just 13% at home and 20% on the road. Now you're like, Sharpie, 20% ain't good, bro. And you're right, it ain't. But it's a 7% difference, and that is fucking drastic, period. And they just seen Sale in Atlanta, who torched them, and I believe it was for 10. Mm-hmm. Then the Nationals, where they missed Gore, And then the Pirates, Dodgers, Pirates, and Rockies, all who don't have a left-handed pitcher I'm looking to back, as Snell has been on the IL for the Dodgers. So all in all, these numbers are fraudulent. I don't think they have top 5 isolated power, but yet what they do have, guys, is top 5 fucking zone contact. So at the end of the day, guys, I've been preaching it for years about Lolo, guys. He is just a B-graded version of Chris Sale. They have the arm slot release points of a 15 degree or lower when they throw the ball. Their release point is near the first base dugout. It is hard to pick up the ball. Well, they just seen the better version of this side or of this angle of the ball. So we have the D-backs now on the road versus a broke down version of a guy who just torched him. I say that jokingly, guys, as he is a solid 2 or 3. He just ain't that dude I believe Sale is. Can we bet him? Is the real question, guys. And when we look at the metrics, we see a guy who's in the zone 2% more than league average and has some of his worst zone contact numbers of his career, as he's 3.5% worse than league average. Now, his chase contact is also the worst of his career, but that's not the key I've used when betting him this year, as I am 3-0 to the over when I have bet him, and it's zone contact. As when it's been there, we have 8. It's been that simple. As I wait to get 6 of the 9, and then I fire away. And we run this projected lineup, guys. We have 6 of the 9. They're just actually better than league average in zone contact. And when we look at the lineups Lodolo's seen this year, when it's had 6 of the 9 good at zone contact, he is 0-3 to the over, averaging just 2.6 strikeouts a game. So this is going to be a spot that I may just let be. Or am I really going to fucking have 2 unders on my card today? I know it sounds crazy, but we'll talk about that the other day, guys, as I am 1-3 to unders. With the one that I have cashed is the same situation that we're going to talk about later on today. The ones I haven't cashed is when I think I could just fade them because it tells me to. And then the time I do, they go out there and get 10. So might not want to tail me if I give it out, guys, but at the end of the day, if I get this lineup, I'm going to have to put a half a unit on it to the under. Like I said, there is some guys, though, in this that are scary. Suarez can strike out. Grajcik can strike out. Carroll can fucking strike out. It can happen, but I've got to just look and rely on what the fuck has he done with 6 of the 9 to the over. He shined when he's had 6 of the 9 to the under. He hasn't. He's straight up 6-0 every time you look at 6 of the 9, whether it's over and under. And right now, it's telling me I got to take him under spin, and I don't know if I want to.
Well, this might help you. Is that I was going to say under for this guy too. In that, and also unders are fun. I know you hate them, but unders are fun. For those that don't know, that was actually how I came up in the K-prop business. I used to do only unders until I modified my model, but no, here's what I see when it comes to Lodolo. I mean, everything that my guy said about zone contact applies here. And not only do you have that number, which are over in zone contact, but you have multiple guys that are projected to be in this lineup that are just absurdly over league average in zone contact. It's not like, so league average right now for hitters is 82.7. It's not like we're talking guys that are at like 83 or like 80, 82.8 or anything like that. You got Grechuk at over 90%. You have Perdomo over 90%. You have Naylor almost 90%. Lourdes Gurriel almost 90%. Now, he's not projected to be in, but if they bat Jose Herrera, he's another ridiculous zone contact guy. Ketel Marte, who will be in 86.5. You see where I'm going with this, is that not only are they over in zone contact, they are just ridiculously over. And so what that tells me is, because I saw the same thing when I looked at Lodolo's past history, is that you're going to have for him, if this is the lineup that they run, you're going to have probably one guy who you get twice. And Now, Suarez can be that dude. I freely admit that. I don't think Corbin Carroll is. His zone contact has actually been going up lately. So he's been more like the Corbin Carroll of old. 3 weeks ago or so, I think I looked at one of the past charts that I ran with him, and his zone contact at that time was in like the 77.8, 77.9. He's up over 81 right now. So it's been a lot better over the last few weeks. Looking at this and even looking at the projected lineup, when I don't see Pavin Smith in, that's the one that I would want to avoid. Reason being is because he has a really low zone swing rate, but he also does not make contact. He doesn't swing a lot, period. But he puts himself in some very, very pitcher counts, which on the road against a guy like Lolo, who, yeah, I mean, he's better when he gets into pitchers counts. He's not like ridiculous like Scubble is, but when you put yourself in that spot and you have low zone contact to begin with, Pavin Smith is a guy that if I'm going to try an under on this one, I just cannot see. I can't see him in the lineup. I especially can't see him and Gino in the lineup, Suarez, because if you get both of those, then that could be 3 strikeouts right there. And then you're basically saying the rest of the lineup can't barely like strike out at all. And that's just something that over the course of a start is unrealistic. And so if we don't get Pavin Smith, if we don't get Tim Tawa, and we get all the guys that I mentioned at first who are in the 90s or at the 86.5% rate or above, I'm even okay if Gino Suarez is in the lineup because he's normally good for 1 a game. I can't really put him down for 2, nor can I put Corbin Carroll down for 2. So you get that, and you even use up 2 of your strikeouts with those guys. You still got 2 more to play with, and there just is not a lot of potential across the entire rest of the lineup. The one thing I did want to mention about the weather is that there's rain projected between 7 and 9 p.m., which is obviously right around game time. There is the potential for a delay here, which would also sometimes delays can be good, can be really good for you if you're betting on an under, because if there is a delay and they restart anything more than 25, 30 minutes, that pitcher ain't going back out there. So this is an under or nothing for me, but I do want to see what the lineup is. And the thing that would draw me off is if both Pavin Smith and Gino Suarez were in, or if Tim Tawa and Pavin Smith were both in. If 2 of those 3 were in, I'm probably going to have to give pause and throw it away. But if it's only one, and it's the rest of the high contact guys, we can survive 1.
Yeah, I'm willing to go under, even if it is just Suarez and Tawa. I'm gonna have to because the way it says. Now, I know a lot of you may be like, Sale just torched him, and you said he was a freaking broke down version, and Sale just faced this no contact version. Well, if you've watched this show, I've told you numerous of times, I don't need a key by looking at the metrics with Chris Sale. That's just a bonus. I need a key with betting this guy, as Chris Sale, when he gets you 0-2 to 2-2, he's striking you out 45% of the time, where Lodolo, it's 39, and the real separation comes on 3-2 counts. Sale refuses to give up hits, as he's walking you 33% of the time or striking you out 37, where this man's giving up mass contact. He is refusing to walk you, and he's throwing it down the middle of the fucking plate, striking people out 21% of the time, walking people 19. That's allowing contact 60% of the time on a full count. That's a guy who doesn't trust his stuff, and he's trying not to get taken out the game for walking people. I think he gets cracked. I really do. I think he gets the shit kicked out of him today, and I don't think the strikeouts are there.
The Diamondbacks are coming off of a sweep too, and they've actually been playing much better lately. They're actually pushing 500 now, for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, like I said, if I bet it, it's probably going to be $50. If this man isn't on it and you don't pay for his VIP, then don't tail fucking me, because I'm probably going to give up a 10 spot. But everything's telling me I got to bet Lodolo under today. All right, guys, next guy on the board. But before we talk that, do me a favor. If you like what you're hearing, smash the like button. If you're new to this guy's channel, do us a favor, smash the like and hit the subscribe. He does this 5 days a week on his own on this channel, so show support. Sonny Gray versus the Dodgers. Morning line 5.5 plus 118 on FanDuel. It's now minus 110 on DraftKings. Minus 118 it opened up. It's now minus 110. Pitching out 17.5, minus 125 to the over. Earn runs 2.5, minus 145 to the under. Projected lineup is 5 lefties and 4 righties. Now, Gray is a guy I haven't bet this year, guys. This last year, he was good to me when the zone swing percentage and zone contact told me to take his outs. Now, when I've seen those type of spots this year, he ain't gone deep like I expected him. All in all, guys, I don't bet guys just to bet them, but that's okay. We have the right man here to talk his old Twins ace. Now, one thing I do know about this guy that has nothing to do with strikeouts is through his career, third time through the lineup, he likes to give up his butt cheeks. The Twins, they didn't let him go 3 times through the lineup. He didn't like it. Well, the Cardinals are letting him go 3 times through the lineup. Through his career, he's got a 5 ERA, third time through the lineup, a sub 3 ERA, first 2 times. Oh, this year it's a 6 ERA through 3 with a sub ERA through the first 2. He's Sonny fucking Gray. But the past history says yay, and you know this guy, and you've made money off of him. So can we bet him?
You know, there is a world where we can, but I'll explain because it's not a run to the window. So here's what I see with Sonny Gray. Gray is operating in the zone 51.5% of the time, and he is actually allowing some pretty gaudy zone contact at 86.9. The problem becomes that where he can be a problem for hitters is that he couples that with an above average chase rate and an absolutely ridiculous chase contact rate of 44.7%. That is actually one of the best marks among all starters that are going today. It's actually one of the top marks in baseball. His sweeper and his curve specifically are generating a really, really nice whiff rate. So the actual zone percentage for Sonny Gray is not really indicative of how he makes guys miss. Now, when I do look at the Dodgers projected lineup, which, as you said, 5-4, is that there are 4 of the 9 that do chase at or above league average. Them being Freddie, Hernandez, Teoscar, not Enrique, Pegas, and Edman. Now, of those guys, is that the only one that does have a zone or chase contact rate well above MLB average is Freddie, and Freddie has struck out to Gray 5 out of 15 times. Freddie is actually not making a lot of zone contact this year, and I know part of it was from earlier in the year when he was injured and et cetera, but you look at, but then you look at the rest of the lineup and you see that the zone contact that Gray is allowing is really, and you wouldn't think this for the Dodgers, but is really negated by a few of the Dodgers hitters. Like Shohei's down at 76.5, Teoscar's at 75.3, Max Muncy is at 81.9. Now, for those guys, even though several of them do not chase or don't chase often, when they do, you have chase contact rates in the low 50s and high 40s. So if Gray can throw strikes and get early strikes so he can throw his chase stuff, there is easily the potential for 6 here before he gets through, as you mentioned, that third time through the order. The other thing is, you talked about past history, is that he's gotten Ohtani 2 of 5 times, Freddie Freeman 5 of 15, Teoscar 6 of 19, Muncy 6 of 13. All of those are 33% or more, and that's in ample plate appearances. So there is a world here where Sonny Gray, with the right lineup, can get to 6 Ks. Now, the problem then becomes is that if you're going to put another guy in for one of the chasers who does not chase and you force him to keep it in the zone, that's going to make it a little bit tougher. So right now I am on the fence for this one because, like I said, it's basically 50-50 when it comes to guys who chase versus guys who don't, because Freddie is right at league average. But guys that I would want to see in the lineup if we are going to try to make a run, I wouldn't mind, because I don't think he's in the projected. No, I wouldn't mind seeing Rojas in because he has a high chase rate. I wouldn't mind seeing Enrique in because he has a high chase rate and much lower contact. So if we get both Hernandez's, especially if we get him in for somebody with a like ridiculous zone contact, even though I wouldn't expect him to be, but if we get him in for, like, say, Edman, somebody like that, that would make it very, very more palatable as well. All said and done, if we get the projected lineup, because right now the best line I can find is -120. If we get the projected lineup, if this line's going to go down a little bit and I can get it close to plus money, it is worth a half unit. But know that right now, as I see it, this is basically a 50-50 shot. To me, there is just as much of a chance as him getting 6 as there is getting 5, and then there's an equal chance out for the outlier numbers. So, for example, like he just gets smacked the shit out of and gets like 3, or he puts up 7+. So it's a 50-50 shot. So right now, I'm not actively looking at it just because I don't play juiced 50-50 shots, because you're paying juice for something you need to win at 50% or more, and that's just not how we roll. So, but just know that with the past history and with some of that chase contact, that if he can throw early strikes and he is going to get some pitchers counts on guys that don't swing in the zone. So like Will Smith, who he's actually gotten 2 out of 6 times, guys like Conforto, and he can set up a situation where they do have to chase. There's many paths to 6 here.
Speaking of many paths to 6, Cabrera got 3 through 2 on 33 pitches. Keep it going, kiddo.
Yes, sir.
Keep it going. I only took a little shot on that. If you don't know how I bet, I put 150 on my full unit K props. I try to go 100 on my team totals. I did put 50 on the team total today of the Cubs of 2.5 because I told them, and on when I did the breakdown, that if he gives up a runner too early, I'm gonna get back in on it again. So I gotta leave some money for it as well. So it is what it is. Now, I'm a Dodger fan. I'm an ex-Dodger season ticket holder. I've been to multiple World Series games. I've fucking seen and heard, and I listen to a lot of Dodgers baseball. The past, the Dodgers have been a team you could pick on with high velocity. It was a way to get to the Dodgers. Not this year. Not saying we ain't hit with Skeens and a few others, but I'm a Dodgers fan, and I listen to my games on the radio more than I watch them. And the Dodgers this year are top 5 in baseball at fastballs 95 and above. Sonny Gray don't throw 95 is what I'm getting at. They've had problems with these guys throwing in the low 90s this year, where it was the opposite the last few years. Anything else?
Nope, not for that.
Oh, God, we got to talk the trap, the titty capper play of the day.
Danger, danger, danger. Go ahead. Tell them.
Hey, and I know you said I know you said it's No Wonder Island, but I'm going to fucking have to. I come 50 in a napkin, and Kodai Senga at the Rockies. Morning line, 6.5, even money on DraftKings. It's now plus money on FanDuel. Go get you some plus money. Pitching out's not available. Earn runs 2.5, -145 to the under. Projected lineup is 5 righties and 4 lefties. Now, Senga gets the Rockies on a back-to-back after being on them last week when he had 7 strikeouts and then came out and shit the bet, and we lost by the hook. Well, I have said this shit till I've gone blue in the face. The books do not adjust a K-prop on a back-to-back. When they do, you better listen, as there's no such thing as free money, as they are a multi-billion-dollar company, and this is what we are not. As the only under this year that I have cashed, as I am 1-3 betting unders, as I suck at betting unders, is when the books adjusted Senga on a back-to-back versus the Diamondbacks. He had 6 in the first game, was juiced to a 5.5 to the over. He hit 6 through 4 innings and then ended up just shitting the bed again, but doesn't matter. He cashed. And then he was dropped to a 4.5 at a bettable to the over, and he ended on 4. When was the last time that the books gave some fishy ass shit in the Rockies, guys, and didn't add a Rockies tax? Oh, how about Freddie Peralta? And we talked about it on this show too. He didn't fucking hit. So at the end of the day, guys, if you're betting over, I'm going to tell you good luck. The books know something. And what I like to try to see so I can go with the books is can I see what they're seeing? And I think I do see what they're seeing. We've talked about it when he's at home. This guy talks about the electricity he gets from a 2-strike count. He's on the road, where through his career, he has a 7% worse strikeout percentage when it comes to striking people out. And also, guys, this year, he is striking people out at a 24% clip the first 2 times through the lineup, and it drops off to 20% the third time through. This is now 4, 5, and 6. What's going to happen? The books are saying they're willing to risk plus money, saying he don't get 7 today, guys. And I don't think it's because of the weather. I went and looked at the weather. It shows thunderstorms at like 4 and 5, and then it clears up. This game should be perfectly fine. So as long as Wentz lineups come out and the weather looks fine, and if the books keep him at a 6.5 where it's at, I'm betting the fucking under, guys. And why? Because like I said, when I've cashed on Senga this year, it's been following the books. First, the D-backs, a team striking out 19% of the time. He was a 5.5 hella juiced. He cashed to the over. Then on the back-to-back, like I said, they dropped him to a 4.5. He cashed. Once again, the books showing the way. Then they jumped him to a 6.5 versus a Pirates team, once again, striking out 19% of the time. He cashed to the over. The only time he lost is when they bumped him up due to the Rocky tax. And now there's no Rocky tax. Under is the only way to go today.
Yep. I'm right there with you in that. Oh man, I can't believe I'm saying this about the Rockies either. Now, here's what I'll add to that, because everything that my guy just said is absolute gold, and you should take that to the bank. Now, the other thing I'll say is that, because I've talked about this many times, about the atmospheric effect on pitches at Coors. The reason being the scientific reason of the Magnus Effect. So when you displace air molecules behind you by throwing a ball, they build up around the object and send it in the air in the direction that object is spinning. Less air molecules, less spin. Where Coors Field especially impacts pitches like that is induced vertical break. At Coors Field, it's about -7 inches on average. On the road, in every other park, the average is -8.5 inches. You talk about an average of 1.5 inches less of vertical drop on a pitch, and that can be the difference between a guy missing on a breaking ball that goes straight down versus connecting on one and cracking one through that same thin air and getting an extra base hit. And now we look over at Senga's pitch mix, and oh, look at that. It just so happens that his best out pitch, his best whiff pitch happens to be a fork ball. And if you ever watched a fork ball, I mean, you can probably guess by the name, is that where does it go? Starts off here and then drops. You take 1.5 inches on average away. You might even have to take more away from a guy who has never pitched at altitude before, who has never pitched in that park before. And it's literally like putting a big thing of kryptonite in front of Superman and saying, okay, fly away now, or stop this train. Seriously. You also have Senga, who has a high vertical drop on his slider, and that also is impacted by the Coors air. So then you go and you look and you see, does he have the other stuff to get guys? Pitches that actually play pretty well at Coors with the air, etc., is a changeup, which he doesn't throw. And so I look at this and I say, can this guy really, I mean, even the fucking Rockies, can this guy strike out 7 guys with a cutter and a 4-seamer? especially a four-seamer that he averages 94.7, can run probably up to 96-ish, somewhere around there. I'm not sure that he can. The other thing is that the Rockies lineup is always kind of like a mixed bag. You kind of never know what you're going to get. But even looking in this projected lineup is that there are multiple guys, and Farmer's another one who I still think might be in, is that that do have some pretty decent and have recently zone contact. So yeah, I am just so far off of even considering a Senga over this time around. The atmospheric conditions that he's going to face tonight are just horrendous for the main out pitch that he throws, which is the forkball.
Yeah, if I can get somehow a magical combination of I think I just froze, huh? No,
you're good.
Sweet. Of Martini, Farmer, Estrada, and there was one other guy, man, that are contact guys. It's like, bro, if they have a decent lineup, if they fucking ever put the right one out there. Not saying all of them. There's some shithole can fucks in there, but yeah, the thing with the outs too, that's what's coming back to me. Like, is that why his thing got dropped? Do they think thunderstorms are coming or something like that? Like, that's something that does worry me right now about him. And if I don't bet it, it's gonna be because of that, probably, because the outs, that does scare me. They're thinking weather, but I look at the Weather Channel and it says at the time of the game 8:40 Eastern, it's fine.
Yeah, it says that there's a chance of showers around the start of the game. Nothing really else right now.
So yeah, it's gonna be something I'm gonna have to monitor and check it out. But yeah, definitely something's going up here. All right, guys. Next guy on the board we're going to talk about is going to be Bryce Miller at the Angels. Morning line 5.5 plus 112 on FanDuel. It's still the same. Pitching outs were not available. I believe it's his second game coming back from the IL. Earn runs 2.5 at a pick'em. Projected lineup is 7 righties and 2 lefties. Now, Miller gets the Angels, and to be real, I've talked about having to ban guys from betting on them. As if I lose 3 times on you, what the fuck am I doing? I got to let you go, guys, and let it be, and maybe come back 8-9 games later and see if that's it. And before he went to the IL, I lost 3 on him, guys. It's to the point of where I've got to let this man go. His velocity or his spin is down on every fucking pitch, and he's walking people at a rate that I've never seen him do. So maybe the guy next to me can help me with getting back to him, because I know you go game by game and you'll know when he's back. You'll know the game he's back. Is he back?
I'm not going to say that he's like all the way back. However, he did go on the IL, as you said, for a bone spur in his elbow and with right elbow inflammation. So now, with him coming back, the team did get good reports after that. Basically, they said that the elbow looked structurally good. They don't think that it's anything to be worried about long term. And against the Twins, he only threw 71 pitches, which was by design. But he avoided a rehab assignment. He avoided a rehab start. And so what that says that to me, and what the team says, that the injury isn't like terrible. Now, against the Twins, who are a much better contact team than the Angels are, he did give up 3 earned runs, struck out 2. So you go to this Angels lineup tonight, and what I see with Bryce is I don't see an outs prop, and we're probably not going to. I would guess he gets 85 pitches. And this is one where if I am looking to go on this one, it's going to be a half unit only. And so the question then is, in 85 pitches or so, which is probably going to be 5 innings, is there a path to 6? Now you look at the past history, and there are multiple guys in this Angels lineup, which you bet on against the Angels before, you know this, where there's all kinds of K potential. So Neto, he's gotten 4 out of 11 times, Adele 4 out of 8. And he he has also gotten WAR'd multiple times as well. So there is the potential here with Miller spending almost 50% of his time in the zone. The question is going to become, how many guys are we going to get in this Angels lineup that's going to swing in the zone, and what is their contact rate? And what I'm coming up with is 5 of the 9 swing at or above league average in the zone. Of those 5, only one, Rengifo, makes contact above league average, and as lo and behold, he has 1K in 8 plate appearances against Bryce Miller. You look at the rest of them, though, and you just have some gaudily bad zone contact metrics. You have O'Hop, you have Trout, you have Soler, you have Neto, all of whom are at 81% or less, and several of them have a 30% whiff rate or more to a four-seam fastball, which is Miller's most off-thrown pitch. Now, in his return start, he did go fastball he actually went fastball only 37% of the time. He actually threw a lot more pitches than what we've seen before. His velo looked okay. It was right about average. His spin was okay. So what I see on this is I didn't see anything to overly worry me. So what I'm hoping for is to get some kind of inclination about how many pitches he's going to throw, because I think if he's going to get 85 pitches, I think that there are many paths to 6 here for Bryce Miller, especially if he's going to throw some of his secondary pitches more, which he did against the Twins. It could have been that he was just testing them out and just seeing how the elbow responded, but he did go 17% knuckle curve, 17% splitter, 10% slider. And this is a guy who's really used to throwing fastballs a lot. And so for those pitches, you have some pretty bad whiff rates for the Angels as well. You have 3 guys in the lineup that are 37.5% or worse to a splitter. You have 4 guys that are 40% or more to a curve. So I'm not going to sit here and say that, I wouldn't be running to the window to bet on Bryce Miller right now. I wouldn't even know if I'd be running to the window if we get this projected lineup. What I would really like to see is obviously I'd like to see Shaniel out, but that's probably not going to happen. I would like to see Rengifo out. That's probably not going to happen. So if one of those 2 things happen, this becomes much easier. But I also want to see what kind of movement we get with the line once the lineup comes out, because the Angels are kind of like the Rockies, where they have their 3 or 4 main guys, but then they have a whole bunch of different other guys that they mix and match with lineups. So I want to see what that does, but just know that they're with basically everybody except for Shaniel and Rengifo are guys that he can get. Now, I don't have many guys that, besides Adele, that I would have as guaranteed ones. Neto is close, Trout is close, and O'Hop is close just because his contact metrics are so just hideous. So really I have 2 quote unquote guaranteed, and then we have a whole bunch of other, maybe they probably could. So if I get this lineup, if I get a fair price, I'm probably going to be in on it for a half unit.
All right, man. Sounds like a plan to me. Well, guys, I got work to head out to, and I still got another guy to talk to. So I'm going to kind of just chirp him out real quick and not read you the book I wrote, because at the end of the day, if I get this lineup, I'm going to let it be. But Hayden Birdsong gets the Braves. Morning line 5+ -130 on MGM. Pitching outs 14.5 -195 to the over. Earned runs 2.5 -170 to the under. Projected lineup is 5 lefties, 4 righties. Hayden Birdsong gets the Braves, who pretty much, guys, aren't striking out. And if we're going to go by his metrics, guys, we're going to go look at this guy, and it's going to say that, his chase is worse than 1.2% worse than league average. He's better than league average at zone contact by 2%. Well, his chase contact is the upper echelon, as it's 9% better than league average. But just on looking on that, guys, it's going to tell you that chase is something that you need to pay attention to. Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to pay way more attention to zone swing percentages. This guy is in the zone 3.3% worse than league average. And if you're that wild, you're not going to get guys to chase. period. Your chase is going to be that ass if you are that wild. This is my mini version of Taj Bradley, guys, is when I write all the lineups down that he started versus, as he did start the year in the bullpen as a long relief and now has been stretched out to a starter. He's gone 88 pitches in his last game, so he's ready. And at the end of the day, guys, I've got 3 dead spots. And where Acuna, guys, just doesn't whiff it what he throws. This guy, like I said, is my mini Taj. He throws 4 pitches to the same side, to both sides. You're going to get 4 pitches. The fact is can you give me a Bill Miller to help him out? Or can you give me Murphy in the lineup for Baldwin? That's what it's going to take for me to get to the over. And if I bet him, he's like, Taj, it's going to be a $50 shot for me because they are throwers. They're not pitchers. One day they're going to trust their stuff. But at the end of the day, I've got to take them for who they are now. And Wild Thing Jr. is who he is.
Couldn't have said it better. I don't have anything else to add for Birdsong.
I thought I was going to bet him first, bro. I thought I was going to get in on him today. I was like, you know what? I said, at first I was like, Acuna goes down. I was like, you could always get these. It's like, I don't know if Acuna goes down. Yep. If he gets Acuna in the first and nobody else and gets quick, 15 pitch inning, doesn't get Riley or Baldwin, then I'll be willing to get on the 4.5 live at the same exact fucking number he opened at.
Right.
So, definitely a game where I'm going to get in live at. Live, you can make some money. I saw somebody said they laddered fucking Valdez. I was bored laying in my bed, seen this fuck had 6 strikeouts on 45 at-bats, looked at the lineup, and I first immediately said how come your spin didn't see this lineup? And then I was like, oh, probably because of the rain. Nobody wants to bet a game in the rain. But they waited till 10, 11 o'clock to play the game. And now they have to travel too. So I'm not a guy who's going to say you should fade somebody. But if the Astros were to have a shitty day today, it's because they didn't sleep. It's that fucking simple. But the lineup they sent out versus Valdez was so bad. It was so bad. I was like, oh, my God. So I live bet him at 10 at plus 125. I took him at 11 plus 300. I took him at 12 plus 600. He didn't get 12. But he got the other 2, bro. That was nice. That was fucking nice. Fuck. But, live betting is good sometimes. What's not good for me is chasing my bets. I can lose 500 instead of 150. That to me, yesterday was going to be a really bad day when C started shitting the bed. I had the Giants team total under 3.5. He gives up 2 runs. And I'm sitting here like, oh, my God, I'm about to fucking be down 400 or 500 just to start the day. So I go in, but the guy at my work goes, bet big, go big, bro. What you mean? And I'm like, so lose a fucking grand in a day is what I yell at him. And I look and I turn around and I fucking drop 500 on the fucking Padres team total under 4.5. Just fuck it, bro. Just fuck it. That usually doesn't work out for me, guys. Usually I end up down a grand that day. So I gotta just beat it into myself to let shit go. You already bet it, bro. And if it ain't gonna go your way, why try to get more? Like Raggins got me for a grand that day versus Colorado.
Oh God, don't remind me of that game.
Because I kept going. Don't
remind me of that game.
Kept going.
Yuck.
Well, bro, I appreciate you as always. Thank you for freaking having a place for us to do it. Let them know where they can find you and what you got going on. You do have something to talk about today, don't you?
I do. So at Spin Doc Sports and follow me. And if you're subscribing to the Daily Bread Network on YouTube, subscribe to the Odds Bunch as well. That's my guy's channel right there. So make sure you subscribe to both, like the video. But as I said on X earlier today, VIP is absolutely rolling. We are officially over 60% hit rate for the season, hit a new season high for units, have had 4 or 5 sweeps in the last 6 days. Now, with that in mind, I'm in a giving mood. I like to be generous. So here's what we're going to do. So over the next 4 shows for the Spin Zone, which is going to be Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So this gets posted, a tweet gets posted to my account and to Sosa's account, who is the guy that I have Daily Bread Network with. If all you have to do is you have to one like, one repost gets you a drawing entry for free. That's all you have to do. Like or repost. That's it. Every single time, each show. So you do it each show, you get 2 each for a max of 8. What happens then is on Thursday, what I will do is I will draw, and I'm in a giving mood, guys. I'll draw 10 names. I'm going to draw 10 names using a random name generator from all the names we got. And the winners of those 10 names get a free 2-week subscription to Win the Day VIP. I've told you, you've seen the results. You've seen what we're doing. We just hit a new season high in units, and you can be a part of it for free if you'd like. So all you have to do is just give us some love, like, and retweet the post for the next 4 spin zones starting tomorrow. That is all you have to do. So free entry and 10 names, you get free 2-week access. And I've been known after the 2-week period is done, if people want to stay, we can usually work something nice out. But that's what you get. So literally all you have to do, like or repost. So, and happy to host here today too, Sharpie.
Yeah, man, my guy as always. And we also, or I don't, on the other guys, Mikey Mike, he got his June 9th it starts. He's got 10-day RBI challenge going. Anybody's allowed to sign up. $75 in barbecue stuff, $50 cash app to the winner. Pick 1 RBI prop a day, post your bet, and winner gets it all, bro. That fucking easy. So gotta love when people give back, bro. And you got to win to give back, or else you just giving out, bro. And we winning, baby. So until next time, everybody, smash that like button. Pay attention to Twitter. I will tweet out my action. Tail or fade, just know these shows and these last few months, we getting paid.